millions of Australians could be leaving their super to chance when it comes to who receives it after they die. So what can you actually do to make sure your wishes are legally recognised? Joining us now is Professor Angel Zhong from RMIT University. Good to have you back on AusBiz. So, well, I mean, this potentially comes as a shock to those who are looking at this super and thinking, well, okay, what does happen to it when they pass away? Well, what's the most likely scenario?
Well, the likely scenario depends on whether you have made a nomination, and it also depends on whether the nomination you make is a binding or a non-binding nomination. So if you have a binding nomination that is valid, then your super will be allocated according to your wish.
Well, I mean, because if you look at perhaps a will and what you see in that, you allocate your assets most likely, obviously, to immediate relatives. But does super work that way in that you write down the name, does it automatically transfer?
Well, no, it doesn't. That's why it has also actually surprised a lot of Australians. Superannuation actually sit outside of your estate, so they don't automatically form your estate, which means they are governed by a different set of laws and rules.
So you're saying potentially this is not so much ignorance from those who have super. Potentially it's a bit of a flaw in the design of it.
Yes, partially I would think that a good design or a good legal system should work with real human behavior, thinking that the minute after you pass away, your will can actually decide where your super goes. But at the moment, it is not really the case.
So how do you define that between binding and non-binding nominations then?
So a binding nomination means that it is a direction. So if you have made a binding nomination, so your super will be allocated according to that nomination. If it is a non-binding nomination, that means it is similar to a wish. It is your preference. You can outline your preferences to your trustee, which means your superannuation funds. But after you pass away, your superannuation fund will still have the discretion to allocate your super. But yes, they will do it based on your wish, but they don't have to.
All right, so if there is that sort of grey area there, you talk about the discretionary power that the super fund would have. How do they make that decision?
Superannuation funds usually allocate superannuation to your dependents. So there could be scenarios in your non-binding nomination where you may have listed people who are not your financial dependent. So in the case after you pass away with a non-binding nomination, your superannuation fund may find out who your dependents are, and they may have the right to receive your super.
Angel, does it matter whether you perhaps have your own SMSF or whether you're an industry fund? Is there a distinction there?
No, I think we are just talking about whether the nominations are binding or non-binding. And there's also another factor at play, which is even for a binding nomination, there are two different types, which is why, I mean, this system is a little bit complicated. Some people may have made a lapsing binding nomination or non-lapsing binding nomination, which means you may have to renew your nomination every 3 years.
So, what do you need to do then to ensure your super and those lifetime savings potentially go to the people you want them to go to?
Yes. So if you're watching this today, I would strongly suggest that you go into your superannuation app or platform. First, check whether you have made a nomination, and then check what sort of nomination you have made.